this voiceover is going to talk about how we created our music video in our group. So by the first shot, you can see kind of a spinning with the font, with the typewriter font of Mumford & Sons After the Storm. So we wanted to include a very good establishing shot which related to the environment with the greens, the blues. So this kind of followed the whole indie genre towards our target audience. Now, in many Mumford & Sons music videos, they include environmental shots, such as horses and things. So we wanted to adapt this into our music video, of us kind of using the camera and walking around in a circle repeatedly. So secondly, you can see by the other two shots, kind of the establishing shots of the band members. Now we wanted to include lots of band members throughout our music video at the start to establish them. We didn't have this before, but after thinking carefully about it, it didn't really make sense because all we had was narrative and it went straight into performance. We've tried to include a lot of different focus pull shots into our music video because I think they're quite important in creating something different which relates to our codes and conventions, which I've explained above in the blog about a tour ship. Now with a tour ship, we wanted to target our audience extremely carefully, so we wanted to do something different, especially with the uses and gratification theory, where we adapted kind of socially and identifying themselves, because socially you want to talk about it because you don't know why they're lost. Even with audience feedback, they thought it was extremely good because they don't know why they were alone, and then they get together again. So it's all quite different, and it follows the indie genre, especially with our setting, where it's located in a woodland and the fields around the area. The costume as well is extremely important, especially with Mumford & Sons wearing kind of the jumpers, the kind of chino trousers. With the girl as well, she's quite mystic in the way she's wearing flowers in her hair, which is typical indie, especially with a flowing kind of dress, which we kind of adapted extremely well with her makeup, as well as using different media technologies, the camera and the reflector and the tripod, which are extremely important to use throughout our music video. Throughout all these shots, as you can see, especially with the lip syncing, this was extremely hard. And with codes and conventions, again, you kind of need to think carefully about lip syncing. We use different media technologies where I use my phone to record each lyric separately, so we could play it over while he said it at the same time, technically singing at the same time while holding up the lyrics. So this could help him kind of read them properly, and we could sync it correctly, so it would follow the timing. We would not need to slow it down, such music videos do today. I've tried to include as many theories as possible into my blog that we have included into our music video, and we have thought carefully about, such as the auteur theory, uses and gratification, intertextual references such as Safe and Sound by Taylor Swift and Paramore. I learned a lot from doing this music video, especially the different media technologies we use, because with codes and conventions, we don't typically have the money to buy full standard lighting, etc. So we included torches and reflector, which worked out really well, but we had to rely on natural lighting, so we didn't exactly want a dull day. We've had quite a few problems as well with the editing process. Our performance filming wasn't the image frame size, so we had to drag it out, but we learned from that by researching again through different media technologies and platforms by using the internet. As well, we didn't have any band members because they didn't turn up to our filming, so that was a shamble. However, we did find some again. We put it on Facebook, we asked around our sixth form, and luckily we found some people, and they've been extremely good, especially our actor Patrick in our narrative. We chose all of these shots because we thought they were interesting in the way they are being portrayed, showing the emotion on their faces. So we wanted quite close-up shots, which we slowed down using Final Cut, as you can see on the video of the girl looking up slowly, looking lost, as well as the guy looking towards the camera. It kind of shows emotion. The girl is looking around on the field. The panning shot of the girl as well was quite interesting to do. And it's all quite mystic, and as the audience repeated to us, very fairy-like. The audience really enjoyed our music video, actually. As with the feedback below in my blog, which you can see, shows how well I have done. So all of it worked out extremely well, actually, in creating our music video, because we used lots of performance shots, especially moving shots, because with more moving shots it kind of creates the music video more interesting than lots of still shots. Because it's such a slow song as well, we didn't want, when it's sped up a bit, or speeding up, we didn't want too long shots, so we kind of made them go a bit shorter than normal, and with the song being slow, we included quite slow shots, especially ones of him walking extremely slowly, the tracking. I do think we could have used a few more shots, and I've learnt quite a lot actually from the end. Most of the audience actually really enjoyed the end, because they were a bit like, oh, that's extremely cute. However, some people said that we should have done more to the ending, maybe a few close-up shots of their faces seeing each other, or something being given to each other, which was another idea with the intertextual reference of Hansel and Gretel. But altogether it worked out extremely well with the editing, the lip syncing. There was quite a lot more, because we needed to do that first day of filming on narrative, the second day of filming on the performance, then the third day of getting any other shots we needed really, which was lip syncing, which we had to redo again, because we did not have enough. But then the editing process worked out really well, using media technologies of Final Cut Express and researching through the internet, providing information, finding theories, learning about different media videos as well, and how they adapt hybrid music videos, and how they use editing as well, especially in the Mumford & Sons music video. Now, all the way throughout our music video, we've tried to include different shots. We have quite a lot of shots left actually after the filming, but we included ones which would fit in with the song, especially with the lyrics, which is kind of the meta-narrative in a way, and following the lyrics through the crescendo, the diminuendo, how it's like increasing and decreasing. So we kind of had to think carefully about this and which shots would go, especially when including filler shots. So in many Mumford & Sons music videos, as I said at the start, use many filler shots, so I wanted to include as many as possible. So at the ending, it's quite nice how they are running away from each other, then running towards each other. Now it's like fitting the typical codes and conventions of indie genre, being alone and lost and coming back together again, fitting the fairy-like through the setting, through the costume as well and the makeup. Especially the band as well, which kind of makes it a typical indie genre, with the guitars, the outfits again, especially with the lip syncing, standing alone, kind of on the field, looking around, singing, kind of showing emotion, which kind of links really well with our performance together. For my improvements I'm going to talk about now, because mostly it's written down on the blog. For my improvements, I would improve on the ending, showing kind of more faces, more different shots, especially near the start. Maybe include more lip syncing at the start, because we didn't really add that much because it suddenly went into it. But we did establish the band members, but I think maybe perhaps have some lip syncing at the start. Again, with the reverse shot, I think I really like it actually, but I do think it should have been much slower to kind of represent going back in time. Altogether it worked out really well. I've seen quite a few music videos which do kind of slow down the speed or go backwards, but I think we needed to make it much slower, but it was quite hard, especially with Final Cut, otherwise it would go quite blurry, but we kind of wanted it to work out really well. But I know what to do now next time, especially the ending and the reverse shot, and perhaps including more performance at the start. So this voiceover really was just kind of explain my music video and how I created it through Final Cut with my group, using different media technologies for our poster and digipack as well, such as Photoshop, again, which we use quite a lot to edit, which is explained in many of my blog posts. In design as well, kind of incorporating different images. We use quite a lot from things from PowerPoint as well, getting fonts, as well as paint to help kind of scan in items, crop round them, then use a memory stick to transfer them onto the MacBook before editing them. So altogether it worked out really well actually with each shot we had chosen. As you can see throughout the music video, we've selectively chosen each shot because we want them to represent motion and being lost, especially with slowing down in the shots and shots which are quite fitting in the indie genre, again, to target our audience and fit our codes and conventions.